Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My apologies, we're a bit late. As I mentioned, there were issues that delayed me, and because of that, we're starting our program a bit late. But thank you, those of you who have been very patient, waiting for this program to start. I'm grateful to you. Thank you so much. I know there's a lot going on, and it's also a Christmas season. So many of you are spending time with family and visiting friends. I don't take it for granted the fact that you are tuning in and watching this program. It shows your commitment to our country, your commitment to freedom, and for that I sincerely thank you. It's not easy to every time look for bundles, especially many young people in Juba. We know the economic situation that is facing many of you, and for you to deny yourself of so many things that your bodies need and that your families need, and to find the bundle so that you can watch this program, we don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly. It shows your commitment to South Sudan. And it's not simply because you want to listen to me. It is also because you want to engage. You want to reflect collectively. What we are doing here, we are exchanging ideas. And as we change ideas, we learn from each other. And these ideas trigger in our minds action so that we can rescue our country, the Republic of South Sudan, and make sure that this country moves forward. So thank you for tuning in. Let me ask you, those of you who are already tuning in, please share the video, share it on your wall, share it on Messenger, share it on WhatsApp. Whatever ways that you can share it, please do so that as many as possible South Sudanese people can listen to the program and can participate. Also, try to engage in the program. Make comments, make sure that we hear your thoughts, provide us with advice, ways that we can improve, because this is a learning process. It's a learning for me, and it's also a learning for you. So let us use this time effectively for all of us so that we can benefit from it. And this is also for those who are against us, those who think that what we are doing is not good or is not effective. We encourage you also to make sure that your voices are heard. Tell us the reason why you support the failed leadership in South Sudan that have run the country to the ground, and that is essentially selling the Republic of South Sudan, has sold the oil, has sold the water, and now has sold the borders to the East Africa countries, especially Kenya and Uganda. So let us know, what do you think is great about Salva Kiir and his leadership, so that we can hear it. We also want to be educated. If there is something that we are missing, let us hear it. But if it is simply because he's your uncle, or come from your village, or come from your state, or from your clan, or from your region, then those things are completely nonsense. And as I mentioned to you last time, those who say that there is an elder, yeah, an elder of certain community that is being insulted, and he's the president of the Republic of South Sudan, he's making decisions that affect all of us. If you want him to be your sectional elder, take him to your section. Make him a chief, make him a sub-chief, make him whatever you can make him there, and you will not see any one of us to come and complain about him. But if he continues to be the leader of the South Sudan, Republic of South Sudan, that include all of us, and he's embarrassing us, and he's embarrassing our nation, and he's selling the country, then let me tell you, we are going to hold him accountable, and we are going to talk about it, and we are going to say whatever need to be said. Also, there are people that say that people are insulted. Let me tell you, it is each individual that opened a door to insult, right? You are the one that opened the door to insult. Nobody come and insults you if you are conducting yourself correctly, if you are handling your business well, if you are competent. But you are the one that opened the door to insult. If you go into public drunk, people are going to talk about your alcohol problem. If you go into the public and you have not cleaned yourself, you are smelling, people are going to talk about it. If you misbehave, people are going to talk about it because you have opened the door to the public. So you cannot tell us that somebody is insulted and it's the person who is opening a door for them to be insulted. If you're conducting yourself with division, without respect, with corruption, you're stealing public resources. things are happening like the embarrassment in Terekeka. You're the one opening the door. And if you open the door, you say that we are not going to take advantage of that and say it, what morals are we then leaving in the society? And the society we have is not just only for those of us who are presently alive in it, it's also for the future generation. And these future generation, they deserve to be taught so that if they misbehave in public, they know that that will engender shame. It will engender shame not only for their families, but for their clans and for their communities. And that is why people are taught so that you conduct yourself properly in the public. So that is why every parent teach his child how to behave in the public, how to handle the business in public, how to speak in the public. But if you're someone who comes there and because he's surrounded by psychopaths, people that are only clapping their hand, pamke. People are just pamke. And then he thinks that he can go and, go in public, like what happened last time, then people are going to talk about it. And you cannot come and blame us that why are people talking about it? And he's the one that come and did that whole embarrassment in the public. How can we not talk about it? If you feel insulted by it, if he's your uncle or he come from your clan or whatever, then go and handle it in your community. Tell him to conduct himself properly in the public. Otherwise, if he's no longer capable of conducting himself properly in the public, then let him go to the village. I said last time, those who say that we are insulting an elder, Kiir is an elder, take him to your village. I said last time, take him to Akun or take him to Kwajuk, and if we still come and talk about him, then you have a reason to complain. But if you continue as the president of the Republic of South Sudan, then let me tell you, we are going to say worse things than what we have said so far. And believe me, we are going there. We are just warming up little by little, and soon we will be there. So let that one be very clear to whoever. Let it be very clear. Each individual is the one that opened the door to insult. If you conduct yourself with dignity, with respect, then of course, no one is going to come and insult you. But if you are a lunatic, you are selling away the land of the country, you are misbehaving in a public, you are embarrassing everybody. Every South Sudanese, every African, every black man in the world is embarrassed. When that video went viral, many of us, I remember it was actually during the US Africa Leaders Summit. And I was attending. Mayiga Yi was there when he was a foreign minister. Head of states from Africa were opening their phones and laughing. US congressmen were looking at the video and laughing. Do you think we feel good about that? We feel insulted. And if someone now insults us, you remember, if you go on Google and you Google it, you will see in the Google, Kawajat, Chinese, people from South America, Europeans, making fun about him, about that video in particular. So do you think those people are wrong? They are wrong to make comments? What about the person who did the act? And he went ahead last time and arrested journalists, forgetting that it was him that went in the public. And he's supposed to know that there are certain things that cannot be done in public. And when you do something in public, there will be consequences. So let this be very clear to everyone. Whoever that think that we are insulting people, eto monjang luel, yin ke let jabo, kibi yilat, yin ke yeloy, kuna cha yeloy ke chiri kana ginche ben gayong yen yilat yen. Na somebody who is achuwat, ku yila cham yila yekoi bar public, ko ya rome maze, ku yin ke queen wine red. Do you think inchi belare kana? Who tie to tie kien yin lom, ko ye lom, luel kwana ha ko bar, kwana ana nge japet, kwana yele, e ke yelwele monjang e de che kuch ke kana, le wi che luel akun, kuch akun. People in Akun don't know that. So ko ache ke dim ko ache ke for the right second. So ran achi ke dang be a loy, ko win embarrassing. Ku jo le ke je ting ko ba ke yin well way. Ko ba la jam ka ka bai vision siasa ku ngo achi ni ye elwet. Ko ja lu confront yit. Ko ja lu confront yit. Kuna che ko ye confront yit tu ku ne benda a woto tin University Sudan. Ku wo woto. Ku liam dana chin kiri. Ke le be chen bo be to ngi. Ale we ke ke ta. Kuna take ka bo be. Elwel biran ping. To toyen tin di ping e yi japot. So that one, I just want that to be very clear. So my people, as I said, let's go ahead. Let's share the video. You comment, you engage. Let's make this to be an interaction. That is the way I like it. I like it to have you people also make us hear your thoughts and your views so that we are engaging and we are interacting in this discussion. Now, the topic we are talking about today, and by the way, today we are going to talk in both languages, Dinka and English. And the reason why I keep talking in Dinka is because majority of people that are still supporting Kiir are from Dinka. They support him because they say he's from our tribe. This is our leadership. Yet, when you look at the reality, there's nothing that he's doing that is actually helping the Dinka people. The people that he has now armed and they are fighting each other are his own Dinka people. So we have to make sure our people understand that this leadership is a failed leadership, is leadership that does not care about them. It has no solution for them. In fact, it has become a source of embarrassment. Embarrassment for them as Dinka people is also a source of shame, and is also a source of division. It's dividing us, creating problem for us, problem that will not exist within our community. It's also exposing us in a very bad way to the rest of South Sudanese. South Sudanese people now think that Dinka people are terrible people, they're incompetent because of the way Salva Kiir is behaving in public, the way in which he's leading the country, and the way in which he's basically selling the country, right? Even the oil, you know that he has been sold. Now the water is sold to Egypt. He's selling the land. So this thing is something that is completely unacceptable. And we as people need to be able to confront this situation, talk about it, and see how we can come up with solution. So let nobody be concerned why we talk in Dinka. We talk in Dinka because we want this tiger, which is like 90% Dinka, to understand that what they are being used and they are being sold propaganda and their lives are being destroyed. They are being reduced to nothing. So that is the reason. So we are going to be talking in Dinka, but I will start first and talk in English entirely. And then when I finish my presentation in English, I will then switch into Dinka, and then everything that we have talked in English, we will say it again in Dinka, so that everybody will be able to hear, including those in J1, J2, Luri, Blue House, all those places. They need to be able to hear in the language they understand. So that is what we are going to do. What we are talking about today is issue of leadership. And when we talk about leadership, it's not just only political leadership. It's not about being a minister or being a governor or being a president. You know, those are positions. Yes, they are part of leadership, but that is not the only leadership. Leadership is start at home, start in your family, it start in your community, it start with your friends, within your house, how you conduct yourself, the values that you exemplify and the values that you exude. These are the elements of leadership. So it's not just about position. We are not going to be just talking about position. We're going to be talking about values and norms, because we are concerned the way that some people are leading is as if they come from environment without norms, without values. So it's important to remind ourselves, what is leadership really? What does it mean to be leadership? Now, before we get into that topic of leadership, it's important, first of all, for us to talk about citizenship, right? Being a good citizen, being a good human being. What does it mean? A human being that is ethical, human being that is moral. What does it mean? This is what we want to talk about. There are certain values that define ethics. You know, Aristotle, Plato, the Greek philosophers have written about this hundreds and hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago even. And this philosophy is there. Read the Nicomachean Ethics by Aristotle. Read some of the dialogues by Plato. It's very clear what is ethical. And when we talk about ethics, there are certain things that are very important that we talk about. And even in your own house, when you teach your children, there are values that you want to make sure that those values are carried on by your children, because that is what is going to define them within their community, within the society. Number one, being truthful. Being truthful, to be able to say the truth. You don't want a child that is a liar, that is always going to lie. You want a child that can only say the truth. When they are asked what has happened, they are able to detail what happened is A, B, C, D. This is a value that is ingrained in a child from the very, very, very beginning, right? To make such a child to be a good child, responsible child, they must be truthful. They must be able to say the truth. Honesty. And that is why in the Bible, you know, they talk about like honesty being very important. Honesty is the element about avoiding lies and making up things, being able to be responsible for one's action, these are elements of being honest and being truthful. It's one of the things that is mentioned in every society. And in a Nilotic society, whether you are Dinka, you are Nuer, you are Shuluk, you are Taposa, you are Jia, you are Bari, any Nilotic, that is a core element of how we live in a society. Even in a village, so that there may be peace in village, people must be truthful. They must be honest. That means if they say their words, you will find that what they said will be there tomorrow. You cannot have a society of liars and expect that society to have peace in it. You expect that society to have stability. That is just simply not going to happen. So being truthful is very, very, very important, right? Second thing that we talk about is courage. Having courage, because you cannot live in this world if you are just a coward. You are just afraid of everything and anything. That is never going to happen. You cannot have a society of free people that is made up of cowards. Cowards can never be free. Cowards are enslaved. They're made to be bootlickers. They're made to be psychopaths. Right? That is what now the society in South Sudan is being turned into. So you teach your child from the very beginning, if they fight with their age mate, especially in our Nilotic society, if you fight with your age mate and you cry because your age mate has beaten you, nobody in your house is going to side with you. They're going to beat you even more, so that you know that as a person, whether you are a boy or a girl, you need to be able to stand up for yourself, and you need to be able to defend yourself, even if it takes your life. When children reach age of maturity, they go through the ritual where they now leave from boys to become men. During that whole process, they go, they fight, they beat each other with sticks. Sometimes there are spears that are used. Sometimes now there are guns. And you don't expect your child to go and run away. You expect your child to stand his ground, to be a man. And to be a man is to have courage. And courage is not just only in fighting. Courage is also in speaking the truth. It's reinforce the values of honesty. This is very important. To have a good human being, ethical human being, moral human being, you need them to have courage. That is a fundamental issue. The other thing that you need to have, which is also an element of courage, is perseverance. You cannot just give up because you start something and things are hard, then you give up, you surrender yourself the way that now the political class in South Sudan has become. Nobody is able to sustain anything. If we were like that, we would not have an independent country called South Sudan. Right? You have to have perseverance. You have to be able to maintain that. That is very important. Fourth element, you need to have justice. Justice. And justice is element of fairness. And I said last time when I talk about justice, it's not just reading the law or going to law school. You sit in a class, you have given a law degree, and you think you know what justice is. No, that is not justice. Justice is taking what is due and giving what is due. Taking precisely what is yours. Not taking other people's things. Not corrupting. Not stealing. If you have a thief, that thief is incapable of justice. Thief is not a just person. He's a thief. And thief means taking what is not yours. That is thievery. And that has now become an element in South Sudan. So when we talk about that, we mean justice. We talk about taking what is due, what is yours. These are values of a human being. Good human being must have those values. They must conduct themselves with dignity. Dignity. That means a lot. Is having a whole understanding of what you are as a person. Not just only that you are a son of so-and-so and honoring your father, your grandfather, your clan, and great people that have come before you. It's also about honoring the human body and the essence of humanity. And human being, as we all know, was created in the image of God. That is something amazing about human being. And you have to know that human body is the temple of God. God Almighty lives within you. So you have to also be aware of that. And you have to conduct yourself with dignity, so that that dignity is exemplified through your action, through everything that you do. That is an element of being a good human being. Now, you have to be a good human being first before you become a leader. Because otherwise, how are you going to lead a society? Society has individuals that are just, good human beings, and has individuals that are horrible. Horrible human beings are there. Thieves, killers, all these liars, adulterers, all these people are there. They are there in a society. And if you have an ethical individual that are incapable of exemplifying moral values and conducting themselves in ethical way, and you allow them to get into a position of leadership, the whole society is going to be corrupted. Because after all, how are the values of the society preserved? Right? Now we talk about the values of our ancestors. How are they preserved? They are preserved, first of all, through education. Right? Education system, kids go to school. Back in the village when there were no school, they go to the cattle camp, and in that cattle camp, the values are exemplified over and over again. They are reinforced over and over again. That is it. That is how people are educated. That is how norms and values of society are preserved. The other way, which is the most important way in which values and the norm of the society are preserved, is through example that is set by the leaders. Children, you look at the leaders, you look at the famous people in society, those who are famous, because a child is growing up and is looking for role models. And those role models start in the house. You look at your father, you exemplify your father. You hear stories of your grandfathers, your great-grandfathers, great men from your clan, from your tribe, from your country. And these people are the ones that allow you to reinforce the same values that are within you. And when you have corrupt, liars, thieves, murderers to be the ones that are on top, what do you think is going to happen? It is the same values that are going to go to the ground, that are going to go to every element of the society. So leadership and making sure that leaders are actually ethical human beings, good human beings, is the foundation of preserving a moral society. You cannot have a moral society where leaders, the ones that are sitting at the top, are reinforcing thievery, they are reinforcing murdering, they are reinforcing adultery. That is not a society that is going to be good. It's not going to be a society that will have values. And we are not surprised. We should not be surprised at all when we see what is happening in South Sudan. Because what you see in South Sudan is precisely a society that is being run by corrupt individuals. That is it. That is the society that we have today. So you have to have first good human beings for them to be leaders. Now, when they become leaders, as leaders, the most important element of leadership is a vision. Where are they taking society? What values are going to preserve? How do they envision the future? Right? Because it's the leaders that allow people to move together as a collective to chart a new direction for society. Right? Without vision, people are going to perish. A leader must know every time that he goes to bed, every time when he wakes up, where is he taking the country? Where is he taking the community? Where is he taking the clan? It cannot just simply so that they can be called big man, Janabu, Your Excellency. That cannot be the whole purpose of being a leader. You have to have a vision. Where are you taking the society? How are you going to protect your people so that your people do not perish, so that they do not kill each other, so that they do not starve? How do you make sure that they prosper? How do you make sure the young men and the young women are going to get married, they will start families, they will be able to raise their families, and they will be able to produce children that are seeds of the society, of the community tomorrow? You need vision. That is a fundamental aspect of leadership. You cannot have a leader without a vision. You have to have a vision. You cannot just have an accidental leader that find themselves in the seat of power and they have no clue where they are taking the country. People are going to perish, and you should not be surprised why people are perishing. Right? Second element that is very important, and especially in any society, and is also element of being a good human being, they must fear God. They must not think that they are above everything. They must know that they are accountable, and there is someone that is going to hold them accountable. And that person is God Almighty. Even before we converted to Christianity, in our own traditional society, you have to have a leader that respects the ancestral spirits, that respect the norms of the society, that knows that he is not final. And if he overstep and become unjust, become corrupt, become an oppressor, there is an authority, divine authority above him that is going to hold him accountable. So you must have a God-fearing individual in position of power. Otherwise, people are going to perish. And it should not be a surprise when people do perish, why they are perishing. The third thing, they must have courage again. Bravery. Bravery to be able to discharge justice is extremely, extremely, extremely important. They must be able to be courageous, to say so and so, that is false, to be able to defend the truth, to be able to defend the weak, not just only all the time to side with the strong, with the power, to only use naked, violent power against their own people. You have to have people that are courage, because to speak the truth requires a great amount of courage. And you have a leader that cannot speak the truth, then of course this is going to be absolutely, absolutely terrible for the people. You have to have a leader that is prudent, especially in modern society. Prudence is a practical knowledge, practical application of wisdom, to know how to manage things, manage resources, to be able to invest them so that societies can prosper. These are critical elements of leadership. Now, when we come to this guy called Salva Kiir, who is now the president of South Sudan, first of all, let's go to the values of being a good human being. We know that he's a liar. He doesn't speak the truth. Every time he says, I'm not going to take the country back to war. And then when he acts, he actually does things that are creating wars. Like, for example, refusing to implement peace agreement. How many agreements has he signed? And he has dishonored every single one of them. He lies all the time. Even Americans here know that he lies. And one great example, there was a meeting in 2012 when he met with President Obama. President Obama confronted him and told him, look, you are supporting the rebels in Sudan. Yes, we know you have a long history. You share that history with him. But this is not acceptable. This is not the way in which societies are run. So please, we want you to stop. He said, no, we are not doing that. We have never done that. We don't support rebels in Sudan. And then Obama brought out the satellite imageries and showed him and said, look, here are the satellite. Here are the satellite. Here are the satellite images. And then he said, your satellite are blind. This is what he told Obama. Obama stood up and he said, and he shook his hand and said, thanks for your time, and he left. And since that day, he has never had a genuine meeting with an American president. And mind you, by the way, he attended that meeting about 40 minutes late. 40 minutes late, because the night before, people have been keeping him busy with all kinds of nonsense. I said this last time on my KTN interview. Those of you who want to know the details, you can go and watch that interview, and you will know exactly what was happening. Why was he late to that meeting? He's a liar. He's a liar. Even now, many of you who are the elites in Juba, sometimes when he meets you in public, you say, oh, so-and-so, you have disappeared. I have been looking for you. I have been looking to meet with you. Why haven't you come to my office? And then you will like, oh, I've been coming to your office, but the people tell me that you are not there, or the president is busy, he cannot see you. And then he say, you people, why are you keeping people away from me? Not knowing that he was the one that I was actually telling these people not to let you come to see him. This is what he does. He lies all the time, lies. So he's not a truthful person. Number two, so I said before, he's not honest. Second, the guy is a coward. He's a coward. He cannot confront Museveni, look him in the eye, and talk to him about the issues of the border. He cannot confront William Ruto and talk to him about the issues of border. Even last time with Bashir. Do you remember the time after our independence? He went to Khartoum and then he apologized for the independence of South Sudan, saying, well, this was not my intention. I did not want the country to be divided. See, really? 99% of South Sudanese voted for the country to be independent. He went and apologized because he's a coward. He cannot face Bashir in the eye and tell him this is what we have done. So what? We are a sovereign people. We are people of South Sudan. We have every right to be independent. If we want to be independent, that is our right. He went and apologized. He went and apologized to Bashir that he was independent. This is the guy. This is the guy we have. He's a coward. As an individual, he's a coward. Yeah? As an individual also, we know that he's a thief. He's a thief because look at what is happening to the resources of South Sudan. As I gave you an example last time, during the National Liberation Council meeting in 2012, Awu Deng actually raised a very important point. The roads that Bolomil built cost 3 times the amount of money that the road that the American built, the Juba-Numili Highway. Kiir was very upset because he was the minister of roads. So he said, well, no, yes, this is true. The price for this road are exaggerated. And he said the reason they exaggerated, and he took out the paper, is the president that wrote a letter and said, give this contract to Bolomil, and Bolomil will decide how much you want to pay. Right? So Bolomil then came and exaggerated the price. More, just exaggerate. And even now the ARC contract, all these nonsense roads that are being built that are going nowhere, they have already cost billions and billions of dollars. And you know what happened? Bolomil received the money, and then in the evening, at night, he comes to the house of Salva Kiir and gives Salva Kiir money. Is he not a thief? Should anyone be saying that this is not a correct statement? It's a correct statement. He's a thief. He takes the money. Now, look, what is happening with the collection of non-oil revenue? Is Adut, his daughter. Adut is the one that is, her company is the one that has been given the contract to collect. And she charges $110 per every single truck that is entering South Sudan. So she collects the money. Money goes into the bank. And then she's the one now that decides how much she's going to give to the Ministry of Finance. Is he not a thief? Look at the issue of oil. The issue of oil. The oil has been sold in advance. Agaga Chwil, the Minister of Finance. He's a very courageous man, great man. He came out. Agaga, by the way, is from Gogrial. He's from a great family in which there are norms and values. Agaga Chwil came out and said the oil has been sold in advance. And what happened to the money? The money has been pocketed. People have put the money in the pocket. Okay, another example. He came out last time and said Mayiga Yi is the one that created this fake contract for Bargazar Road. Wallahi, where is Mayik so that I can ask him? And then a few months later, he reappointed Mayik again as Minister of Foreign Affairs. And he was the guy that he said that stole the money. Is he not a thief? Again, look at Mayanuwal and Yel Lul. They were convicted, sentenced to life in prison, so that they are in prison for forging his signature, stealing money in the office of the president. Imagine, office of the president, money stolen in the office of the president. These people are arrested, and then he pardoned them, and then appointed the same guy that he accused of being a thief to be the undersecretary for the Ministry of Petroleum. And then a few weeks ago, appointed Yell again to be the chief administrator for the office of the president. These were the guys that were convicted of being thief. Is he not a thief? Can anyone disagree that this guy is not a thief? He's a thief, right? And you have a thief. Now, someone who, in our cattle camp, those of us who go, there is a duty. Every day there are people that go and look after cattle. And there are boys that go and look after goats. Someone who goes and eat goats, other people goats, can you send them again to be the one to go and look after goats? Someone who eat goats, can you send the same person to go again to be the one looking after goats? This is what we have been doing. Thief. Common thief. Common thief. Endurance. Where is the endurance? Even in the bush, I have mentioned to you last time, he was almost betraying the country. When he had his incident in Ye, he put himself in a bunker in Ye, and he started communicating with the Sudan military intelligence. Yeah? He was communicating. Tutkew came to give him money. And Tutkew had developed this relationship since 1995. And this is, by the way, why a Kolokur is so important to Kiir Mayadit, is because the point of contact was a Kolokur. A Kolokur will come and meet with Tutkew, and sometimes he goes and receives the money at the embassy of Sudan in Nairobi through an account called the Friends of Sudan. He has no endurance. He cannot endure hardship, difficulties, and to be a man with dignity. It's not there. Cannot be there. Right? So you have individual from the very beginning, and he's a coward, as I said before. Someone who is a liar, someone who has no courage, someone who is a thief, someone who is divisive, and he's like that. Now, as a leader, he found himself accidentally in this position of leadership. Does he have a vision? Have we seen this vision for the last 19 years? Where is it? We just have slogan, taking town to the people. What town has been taken to the people? If there is a town in Akun, there is is Kwajuk even a real town? If there is even a town there in Kwajuk, where is this town being taken to the people? When? Where is it? No vision, just mere slogan that are being mentioned, because he has no idea what he's doing. He just like being called His Excellency, Janabu, Zol Kabir. These are the things that he enjoys. So my people, this is the guy. And you should not be wondering why there is why the country is not moving forward. He, on the other hand, is not fearing God. Does he fear God? He ordered people to be assassinated. Any leader that orders people to be assassinated is an individual that does not fear God. Isaiah Abraham, Dan Chol Danding, Victoria Ding, Ding Chol Danding, kill. Julius Moy, kill. Karbino Wallagog, kill. He captured these people, kill them. By the way, this is why he was so useful to Dr. John, because John Garang used him to do the dirty work. This is the guy he is. He just does the dirty work. He's used to killing. So he has no fear of God. The only thing he fears are human beings. He fears Museveni. He fears Ruto. He used to fear Bashir. Now he's fearing Hemeti and Buran. This is the reality. So you guys need to understand this. Courage, where is it? He was made as a fool to be head of the East Africa community. Yes, thank you, Jonkur. He killed Georgie Athor in a very cowardly way to pay Ugandans intelligence, and then the guy is duped to go to Uganda, and then Georgie Athor is killed. A great man was killed. This guy is a coward. He has no fear of God. And in his house is full of spear masters. These are spear masters. They kill goats. Sometimes they make him drink blood. Terrible things. Last time someone was telling me they brought a guy from Benin. This guy is brought from Benin. He's like a spear master. He's a voodoo guy. And he has a goat. This goat is the thing that he used for magic. So they brought the guy, put him in the Pyramid Hotel. And he's staying in the Pyramid Hotel. And then this goat eat fish. You have to bring him 7 fish. 7 fish for the goat to eat. After the goat now has eaten the fish, then the goat will start, making all kinds of noise. Meh, oh, meh, all this. And then now, this magician guy will be interpreting what the goat is saying. They kept the guy there for weeks. Kept him there for weeks. This is the guy. The whole compound is full of all these magicians. They say, well, Banyabit, we will do this and we'll do this. This is the guy. This is the guy that is running the country. Has no fear of God at all. Doesn't think that there is. Imagine, Pope came, the Archbishop of Canterbury, all these people came, and then he basically lied to them, and then he didn't do anything. He thinks that by saying something, then it has already been done. So this is the guy, has no completely any values of leadership, has no courage, cannot face Museveni, he cannot face Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, he cannot face his own ministers, even his own relatives that are stealing. He cannot face them. He has no courage whatsoever to face them. So this is the guy that is there. Can you be surprised that the country has been run to the ground? No, you cannot be surprised. So my people, we have to remove this guy. He has to be removed because the guy is, first of all, is not even an ethical human being on his own, and then also he's not a leader. He has no even basics of leadership. He's a corrupt guy. He's just there selling anything. He cannot protect his own people. He's arming them so that they kill each other, confusing them, creating all kinds of division so that he can remain in power. That is the guy that is running South Sudan. And that is why our country has been run to the ground. That is why everybody in the country is so confused. And we cannot be pretending and say bandit. These are people who are only wanting to eat. People that are wanting to eat, forgetting that stomach is a plate of God. God will always bring in things. People need to know that. What is very important is to think about the legacy of our people. Those who sacrifice their lives and those today who are suffering so that the life can change, so that we are able to preserve the norm. Are you now surprised the country has been turned into prostitutes? A young woman cannot get a job in South Sudan unless she sleeps with somebody. For you to work in the office of the president, you may have to even sleep with the guy himself. This is what is happening in the country. Is this a moral society? If you look now, the society is so violent. Corruptees, people that are thieves, are the one running around. Songs are being composed of them. So what values? What values, Ya Jama? What values, my people, that our society are preserving? What norms are we preserving? These values are not being taught in the school because everything appears fake. Because if you have clueless individuals that have dropped out of school, that have no basic element of education, these are the elite. These are the ones that are rich. These are the ones that with the money. They are running after people's wife. You see a good wife, they're running after people's wife. Any woman, if you want to get like a contract, this is a problem. So my people, you cannot think that you have a leader. You have a guy who got into position accidentally, and now because he's such a corrupt individual, such a horrible human being to begin with, he is there running the country to the ground. A man without forgiveness. A man without forgiveness. He has no even appreciation. When you do something good for him, he doesn't even know, because the heart is so black. So black. Black-hearted person. That is why he kills whoever that he can find and kill. This is the guy that is there. This person cannot take the country forward. So you cannot be surprised why the nation has been run to the ground. He has no element of justice. He thinks justice is when you praise him. No justice. No justice. The guy does not even understand that the word and the meaning of the word justice. Every time when there is a political case, I know now with these brothers of ours that were accused of coup, who have now, by the way, have been taken from Blue House, they have been transferred to the military intelligence prison at Gieda. When he forms a court, if they were civilian, it would usually be this, there is this lady called Sumaya Ali, there is this Nasib of mine called Duat Kulang, and then there is always this individual called John Yell. These are always the three individuals that he uses. And these are individuals, he just sit down with, what is his name, Chandrej Madut, and then they bring these people, these are yes men, and they will convict you whatever. Imagine last time they convict James Gadet Duck with death penalty, with what? It's just complete nonsense. So it's a guy who has no justice. He has no ability to hear the truth. And everyone around him are psychopaths. Everyone around him has been reduced to his own image. Everybody around him have been reduced into the image of Salva. They are liars, they are corrupt, they are unethical individuals. This is the whole leadership of South Sudan, the current leadership of the SPLM. This is what that is there in the country. People are wearing red t-shirts, lying and saying all kinds of nonsense. We cannot call this like proper leadership. So this guy has to be removed. Now I will switch to Tongmanjang, whereby KGM wotin ke chol ngor, du ngor, ke chol ngor, etung katia ke, ache chan te chen ita wo thuche, te chen yen real kin chin ya mangor. Ngor ro gol bai, pandu, nga yero gol tin kin yaran. Aye gol bu pio yin kin yemet, be confused number 1, bayaran wen la chok. Ku bayaran la chok anan kaye yu ku mori ka kon pio yin bai. Tung ke tueng ye kon pio yin, e ba che jam lwet. Be aye ne lwel na thiechi ke ye en lwel ku ba ye taw te chi te cherol woite. Ba ka ba lwet che tur. E tung ka ye ke lwel be met pio. Kro ba mangen. Ba ya mangen ba pio amathon. Ba chilim. Na neng miet chital panaran dange mien met ki chi bi yot ku ba lo pa na. Ba ya to ka ku ne. Aye jeng lwe kana ran dang achin amo ko piat. So yin rir ke yin e pio mathon. Liga ku ke in lui kungdu riel du ba ku ba ke jwake yin ku lo bi ku lo tor wona men tungwe ku tiamin ke yin bu ku duyi ba le yin wele yin moj e ko jide mo je tor na ye ke nye wi ku ka nye ke yin che ro lo ki ne ran chniu ba jo to kin chniu de ne ko rak mi dai ka rak wan ku le ke ro ki kana be no ma yu kana be tor tong ko chin ran di loten eta ene ke pio bi ke chol moj bi ke ngi chana gorana rir ke maton ko che khu ba che beloy ne kam to tin but kene ro yene to tin liep liemrel be met bi ke pyo je ke cho liep liemrel bi ja jam wila wene yit wil wen ke maton enge ke ye pyo je nan ko so ato kana yin ye pyo je den ba yi ran den ngi yi du ba ngi ku yi ran den ba ngi kana je a ko ran den pe lo dulumu ke yin ran won je pyo je kim botin ku ban le la kene yi de nge yen ke ya ye enge ti ne ko pyo tin we pa ne cho junu ba Sudan enge ti ne ko pyo tin wan pa ne monjang jenge je ben ku ne nuer all the gabal ke junu ba Sudan enge ke ye pyo ke e to kana bi ran bi met bi pyo ke cho ri ele pyo ke cho gola che go lo ko pel a ye mok tin a gud biting yung be tol tin ye ke lo ko la nok na ko ma chi ran bi ro pe nam na ye ke bi nang de pe bi tol tin ke loy bi tieng tin so ko ai ke pyo je ke cho ri ele pyo ku ba ke dang ba kwan chuk ba pyo che dar ye won cha kwan ku le ba loy a ye loy pyo rel ku mo tin ye ke to kana ka ka ke pyo ran ba ri ke ran la chuk ba ya jam yit ba che pit ba ya ri yo je nyalech ba ri yo je nyalech wan ngor ko kene ka yoni wonang ja kri jok a yete ai men ngwan ai lo ko kwen mi te jok e ke ene ko gu gai e pyo chan be dil ngi anan kai woni ka te pin nom anan kai ka te tin nga yene nim chen wel a wen maria inge ti yene loiten be adier rin nga kwet ken be koy ken be gadil te ku be koy ken be ga yek nyal ai pyo je nang ran na ba ja ben ba ya du ngor ba ngor ba jo pyo ba ja ngor ba ko ba ga jo mare ba ga jo ngor number 1 enang to win to bin ko leten to ngo monjang ta bana to ngo monjang wera chi to red e ke chol vision ban ngi etile yin ko tin kan ben yin ka ye kwan chok na ye ben kut kang ben chin vision ka ler ko je tuo we a ler ko to win chin pir a ye na ben kwan ben ya win no ngi ko ye kon tin ge ran la chok ene ko kon tin ge chala mit ga ban wan a cha yi man na ben ye ne be ge ben ai bak be e bu ko be ge tin ge ku tin ye nga ye lu ban be la twen ban ye to ka la pyo e to ya den ga nyar ko mari be ko ge be ga mari be ko ge be ga to kana lo ye ga den ga lo ge ye to ku bi ga lo pyo rel e ke de to ba ye je kana ka ye ne ko tin wan ye nga ye lu be ko mari ku chi ko be ye na te be society be lum ku be la twen e ke to wan e ting ne ba nye den e na ngi win bi ni yi lwel chan wan anan ban ko ka ko ko cham ku yim ben anan yim ko la be lup bu ko be gwel yinom ku bara na win ko bi ke de nyaay ba tem yi de kin chiriyo completely e kene e ngati e lo yen so we ko e ke to kene e ke chol ngore chan ba ko ngor ko chan ba ya mangen ko ba riyo je nyale ko ba na ngi te win bi laten le rin ko ten a ko to ya den barir ki nong pion rel pion a win bin ke ci ko na ning a ci tong ben a wun ke good a good be la yo ke ci rekana e to kana ba ni na we ta ra ne ngor bai University Sudan yen ra ne cho Kiir ma ya dit yen ben Kiir a welen ku ne twing wun wel me da e pyo ji ali wo kene no ngin e pit ke ye lwele ben e pit a lwele on we cha ga be bai cha be la tong ku le bai tong ku be bu ku be ba le cha be la tong du tong ta ni a gu che mane bai ngor ko to tong mo do ni na ga mi e ne den chen bi ko la no ku bu ku pir ten ku le la ni ar bu ko ke bi re do e pit na yene mane ale be lwele yile bal ale yile be toy ku lwele banya kor be yu kene yin ku jo bo jine jalo magda be alo magda be lo ku chopi lwele banya lew o banya nin de ni na gol chale ma fruit to ko lo ka ke bai ka yu kene na gol chale lwele banya nin be la ben bi jo go ya mi akin yile ba pioria ku male a mi lo pin rom ne yen le yin ni pin yom le du na alo ngadi ta yung chin mar ta lo no yin ya gwi kuin che ben yung yindi kana ting ku yen wen nge jam wen ku le nge cha ko be yu ye ye ko ke cho we yung ye we nge pin ba ke nge di dia pin be che bo ku en ge lwe len ku tara wen aku e yen nge jam ku le ko ga cha ke we che pit ke na e pit tu e chwer e chwer ke chwer di ting wan on lo amare SPLM 2012 a chawu de nga chwila chwele charchi bolo mel ka loy ku charwan lo Amerikin charwan jal mine numele be ben juba wo yene bolo mer ka chel ka loy a wer wo ke loy America ke chade na diak be ke yuwi na diak so na ye ke loy America loy 100 million ka chi bolo mel loy 300 million ku chara bolo mel ako ko e char jamer kin loy kwa kin et pin chi char jamer kin loy ja wudel wele kene go gere chwanga luong ke ene wuzir e cher eta go le yang kriel ngu kene go ger go to joro pin ku binial ado tin ki he was there kwane to I kene ko cha go yanyen go ger go ben bigul yes ko win ja wud lele eye cher chi bol mil ka loy wu ye ga wu ye bol mil ka jor awer wu a wu ju jaret jolel ku kiro jole we bai ache wo ge yin contract bol mel wo la sab lungda contract ku lo yen kay companies ko ay ga ja bo bi lwel char bi loy bi loy wo ga da ku jugu ting la sab rana win be char nge loy ke chier ke bol mel ge e kir nga ye gorati ku lwel chare ayin bol mel ko bi bol mel be jolwel ye wo ga de ben ge ye loy kene 2012 nke lo yenen tawan tong before tong ijili ram pene diak pene wan a wude nga jwil ke lwele chari chi bolo me lo e costing 3 times e chari chi American lo kara yong lo rar we koy ko rot go grela lwel ke kiren ke ye gor ku lwele chara yin bolo mel ko ki wo kir ke wo kwan kana chi ki lwele yene nga ke den won che lwele nga lo ku kwinga ke wan e ben cherwan lo ARC yenga ti lu road o yene kiren ka gaten ma ga danga jeru release wan ben yi Angelo ko de garang mai wan mai ke e chan chi ko wore chi ka lu lik wore gene kir ka gat ku le char ayin bolo mel ko bi bolo mel jota e wo ga di bi ke loy wan tioga wan a che minister of finance won tin wan e cho bak a che le me ya bedom me wan e pene ber gene dom ba dom ko jo jal ku wa je ben wu ko yol ko wo ye ka kur 90 million go boku ger werek pin kir ku le wo wa yin ka bol mel lo jor bol mel ke e nga ken me dom yin gran ting mane juba kre yin jola wudut ku kuy yong be loy e because we wa chi kir ka ja yin ka bol mel ku yong ye bol mel loy we ai ka jola jora le wa ko chi we jonen a je ka jor je ka do pa ne kir no je kir je ka lum je ka taw je be en ko jor yo nge jo chol tuk bu je mi ai to moy di rer SPLM je ben e bu je chol ku je mi ai chen jo mi ai chen ko ji ko lo jo duo te ye ye ka jo gam chen yenge ko lo ro che chwere kana be we ka ting number 2 miu a che age for 30 years kada nga ju age until 2030 cha ga chwile ji lwel ga chwile lwal mo ngo real pa ne chol kwa nya yok nge bi yenten family wen ngi rana ben ji lwel miu ka che ai we ku wo wa che ke cham chú lo ya đi ai chứ cái yên kia cái nó nghiên cái bàn đi đến chú lôi Morocco bàn chú lôi Morocco ấy là Palestine mới lệ ngay chú hỏi cứ về về gì Ethiopia này lake to Addis just 40 minutes outside of Addis Ababa I can mention đi lôi nong 22 bedroom ai chứ cái lôi anh chỉ về jam bay cái Malaysia bay cái Dubai bay cái to Nairobi ấy lôi quyết cái quảng cái chế chué để bây giờ cái gì adut nhàn để những cái gì contract be awata ko we cho nan tag revenue na ye ko boju no Sudan ti man ka customer bene e yen ga kur ku jeta e wo ga de be ga jo yen akuma go wo ga de be dongane yen ku ga wun ga le ga yin yen e wun ga le ga yin yen che chwer ke na okay pi wa che ga no Egypt wo che ga loy di che ga lom ku chem ke kana ko li di hange ke ne ke cham yutut ke ko bol mel ja chwer ga gen ma de ja che chwere rana wan be we ngi runwan je lo na ran to maktam de e chol ma yana wol ku de e chol yel lulu ruai ku yi wun de tin wan e jon woy a che ka dom makke wele che ke chen che ke ban fortune ku che ku wo kwal maktam ban ni go ko kum de ga lo se je ne a ku che kul be ke to a wan che la ke cho ka lon ke ku ye chwere wan ko wan ye chwere ran wan e chol rawon e chol kadang rawon e chol mayan wala enje be nyo kwin ke under secretary kadang ministry of petroleum wazara de miok ku kalwe wane ye chwe so je bele bkang jo bela kwal che chwe rane cho yel a che mai wana to se ne lo ku cho ja lon ko kon la yu kala rera wana chan a wan ko je wu ka nge la to che preja dil ga ma nong ban go ban go de be nyo kwin che be du mak ta be che mane ke yen ke mudir mak ta me ban ku ke chwe wana che mai okay a nge ki won che lo ku le ra jor ku le ma yi ga yi won chi cher de bar ga zal chi wu cham un ge ga che cham ku lo cha lo ku jor ding jor we ding to ka ba jor ko piori agon ku bi chol media ku le rane cho ma yi ga e ne rane ku je ben man ba ti yenge la ben gene contract de ku company ken ge che kang rai ba jo ti je men na lo pe li dia ke ma yi den wan we je kang kwale en nyo kwin ke yen wuzir bita kare je rane che chwe le bel wele di bi bel wele di bi cha ke chol rendi ren ke chol ngo ma ka chin ke chol were chol chwe lo yen to mo jang e bi ngo ya lwel e bi ran chi ran bi ya describe ago ya lwel ran e chwe ruin yaude enge ye ka so ran enge pa enge ki ka enge ki wona ma yadit enge ye okay yen arioj ting pin a jode chin abiei enga a chu jor the yi mile 14 jot pane to che ke be lwel jot yen ki wan lo le yi museveni lwel yi lo yi ne banya East Africa lo ko bi jel bay ko lwel map jidit ki map a chi pin di de Junuba Sudan a che tem we pin wer pane dola e cho Rwanda chi Kenya che tem tu dangon to yi maranga ke piuten yi ki base che tem we ben et na ngi miuk na ngi dahab na ngi piu che tem we Uganda ci pentem yi magalatoria ayi to on lo nya bantin ayi to on lo convention tin cho mo sukun ci tem we ben ko bu jo la bay jo le map jidit ki je le la map jidit ki nge map ki kana ku ga chene ji dola panya Junuba Sudan ci tem we kara e ke chingo ye Kiir ma yari ye yo ke rem ko gup mi ko ci pola ci go aj mi ko le wan lo ka bi development loy but ke chol piu ku pin ku joga gai development ye le ka bro loy ye ro loy ali re ma development ro loy tiom nam a je ro loy piu nim ko je ro loy ali re ay loy tiom nam kana ye tio be jo gai ran chi re kene chwe de che chwe chi ko be go ye re chala juro akukul nge chwe yu ka ping a je na ko chi kene yu ku ping akukul de je dit e chwe arioj achi log achi Museveni nyon achi uru kanyara lewu nyot nyen aguti be chira chi lewu nyot nyen tawon chi bai ben be ku jelo ka tum ngala nem wala ko le wala male chi Junuba Sudan ben be ge dola male jin be shir achi ne ke chata tonke wenim 2 million ajo to ka chi ka wai ben ku jola le be shir ku le male chi bai ben be e ben gene ye ben le bel wele ke ben ranji kana ben ye tino ke yen ya ka chira ken ke ta ye ben ye tino ben chira kana ben ya rioj ni chira kana akwe be ko nyod nyin ko dai wu tu kana na ko ya ko lo kur ki la wunti ne choma biura wu jok era le ne jam Facebook era na da du e kira ye le kir ma ya ire kon gol ku jok ki le ku jela ku ma ki ran chin ke lwel we ra no wo mi kala ra ne cho ko lo kur lo ku joro ko ko bi ku joro te se ne ti mai ma na ka chi ro ria ko bi chor da do se ne ko chi to ka kwet ke ben yen e mitir ana ko ya ka go ting yan ko che kana yidi ngi chana wol yidi ngi chol danding ke yen ran tung Junuba Sudan neurosurgeon ran tung Junuba Sudan ti pi ngi neurosurgery beloy chot ne chana nang ja ken to ye gop che la ngi a chi kur be ke be ping Junubin ja ken ke ka chen ke men chol danding nyok saket kuletin birane cho Julius moy ke journalist cho janak wala go ga le dom le mo gnom mo nom so eran ana ko mitir ache rana wen le le ye ban tin cái ti ne ban to yo gop le be jo le ban ke ban wera lwe chan be ping aliu so cái eran chi cha aliu kana ku cái ban aliu chin ngich cái lem bai ten yang cái ran je to ku cái ran je ju ba Sudan jo go no ben so yang cái jo loy ka we bai a chin cái ko gai mà yak cái ting cái chol nom chuma ne cheng i chiek a che roda kim a che ben kim ai pioj mit ai kon pioj en bai yun kuman bi pioj bi amena wenrel bi ka wen ya ga wel ke ben bi che jam lwet bi amena jam yit bi am mangen dupa dene bi kagarie la loy bi yiran dang bi ngi ku yi de bi ka ngi ku bi jam lew na ye ke nang i tong ko loy riel ai pioj nong met bai ko yi ki lo rop yom den akin pioj na ji ben ke ben taban norms ay ka pioj sukule okay ele bu gwalwel ka ci rianga ba ya pen bulo sukule wan bi ko won na lwel garang lo sukule scholarship la kor lo ko kor yi chol dandi nge yi bona ma wala madut ya be ya le ko ay kut lwel yin lo sukule re jay bulo sukule ku sukule ngati ene norm fiojten ay mi wan ala wur bu kala pioj ku koy ka pioj wur a koy wenrel a che ka pioj ke chwer a wen ngi ke to chwet to ko ya ke chwer le be at wo biu ke be to be ke be ala biu ko ngi je ne ra ne to ay ke la lom ku ler ke budre ku yen ke ku chwer ke de be ya be yo ke ra ne be ala biu ke to ku ngi ke ro lo ju no Sudan wen ma ya dit min ter corruption ne ke dai ti yi ko ne slave saga cha wa wan last time ku je be ben ba ni a chi man ra na wen chứ tù chwer je be yo be tù ko ke be ke jo be nyo chwet ku nge ke loy man no ngi ma yan wol a wo kwal wan ma dam de go ka mai ku je ke be la be chena go ka kok go ka be kwal yenge leadership style de yenge te ngor ke ma ya dit ka ra na che ben ku chi le be jo alwel wallahi ben di da jura liye jo cho le jam wallahi ben president leadership bi are ben lat ku aye jeng lwel ki be yilare yin nga yela bay yin nga ler ben yilare nga yela bay na ye ben ku lo ko je ko ja man wan ko rom med ko ja di rom med man na junu Sudan ku ye ko bare med ye yu a chin kul ben yi chela de ye chala mi de tie kin chilom ku le ra ne ko bar a chu wat a ye lwel a ya rioj lo ko tong yin go kar chi lu yin chi la de ma lwele ka chi lu rioj duone we nyina tap ye lwele were kuna chi ye lwele ke pan kui kang tin because ye lwele agora ndenge bu lu ye greje agongi ke chire gra ye ne ko lar na bar jangai kin go wasak yin ke ro nge gwir yin ngwaj ma ki yu ke yin ngwaj gop ba ben gi ne gongop ngwaj pol du ndet ma pol du na lwel ro ran ke ne gongwaj pol de ne ba ben ji yuet ci man ba ja ben ji yuet ci man ga di ro na Kenya lo jara lo bika di de rais ke ji yuet ye lwel ka chi lwel di ka chi kana ku ka ji ko rai gup ai ko la ro loy gol ya ke ye ko wa ro loy gol ya on lo ye road yen ga ta yen chi Joe Biden chen ban ka Africa ban chen ka chol ko ja to ma ma yi ga yi cho ti je Kiir ma yi ga yi to he was there ku de nga to je lui trend je to Facebook chat the social media chat the Twitter ai nge bu ko je be je ko dol je le wala pa ne chol Africa ya pa re ji yendi ku le ga chi lwel lwel be jo wala yin chi ke pye loy wala yin nge ye na ko ba lo ki lo ta dun cha ta cho cha wat ta wali ye yi ke bi lar yin ke ye be kuna lo ben ba kang brai public ka lwel ana ko jam na randi de pa ne chila la randi de pa ne ku ka ma ju wo die cha wan cha ne me ko me ke man ya cha wan cha ko je go ria le me ama junu ba Sudan ben ga mer jele randi da jela lat ma le ke pyom dun ta dai lwel wan na ya ke lwel ke randun ler ke pyom dun ya ke ko je kong nim le ka ji lwel yung yen bai ko mai ko bai ye waradu pin Africa ben ran chul ran cholo ben ci rai gop we ga chi lwel bi che lwel ye lwel nga be lwel ma lwel bi ran ping that ko ja chi pion mit ka ye ga loy ga fa ran ye na che ben kwa nyeye run wan bi ye nyai ki ben 2024 nyeye tin fa we bai enge ngor ka ngor akur ke chol vision number 1 akor leader when fearing nyale bengi acheran yi achi ye chulwel yong ye wer yo je ken gwap kunan kile be tiep marwe en nyale je ken ana gwap mer tiep so ko acher yo je ran kir ma yari a human being ye ting pyom den mane wan ko ya jo chor dunu tiere chu kuonom je wan to ka je no je chole diaw ma wan je we ka te wan ping aje ajit ping ke je weimon je ter tok je mem pol je ter cheran ngi ke jo nyale ali ran wan lo ra ran la bay pa ne cho benin ran la bay pa ne cho benin west africa ran e tier ku ti de e chat ke na to nam to de tong di chene tung ro lo le yanom to ga je jo la bay buku je thai pyramid ke na to de e thai ku to e chwe de rai je ga e ga chwe ai yin la ben wore ke doro ko je re ke doro je ga bay buku je to je ga kon chwe je ga jo chwe ba de ga ja mem pol je me je tie di je ra cho pe nya le jo ke le to je lwel wala kana bi yele kana bi yele bi tare ra ba duwa ga nek pe pyramid yenge ke loy junu Sudan because casual norm society I been from the top leadership ban to nyal ku ye ban ya win la will ka bai ban la will ki man ken bai ban ken la ken la will yenge ke loy road fi junu Sudan yenge ke loy road man bai ban man la will ko ay lo titi bai ya confused because ran en mai bai akui ke loy e bu kwal e be ko no e be lwet jo loy be jo pit yan be we ngi ma ye pit wana chol abu amare ken ban obama daman wan ye pe wo ben we independent ko anang kati ye yen wet ke nuba mountain ku wet ke blue nile wanga go bokul we wek la ngi ku we nang tari together but again the ye lo yen which le bag rebels bag ya support fi Sudan gole la ache ke yugo loy ke chire kana ken ku ko loy ku ka le yen in advance kana bela lwel ku yin ben ba den gam lwel yin ben ya kana yugo loy ku yugo loy yen ko ke ana yi den good ke ko chiran kai kana ke ka wo ku ye ko wan bo together ayugo yugo china other choice e bu ko je ke e bu ko kon go lwel okay go che lwel ke ne lo lwel la ache ke yugo loy Obama go satellite sura ke satellite go bebe ku lo yenki ko da ka ko ko ne SPL ya ka ja gam den dan wet ke Darfur wet ke Blue Nile wet ke Nuba Mountain jele yenka go lweli alwele satellite kun ki yin Obama a ci chor a ci dai cin gi go yi go le a ci chor ko Obama go ra jor ku le e yen shukron damando ko ne to ga mara ko bo mare ke ci gaw mara ci Obama ja tit bo mare ke gaw ko ru ko gubu na ko ko je ru ko lui kala wil yo ben hadek e me kla yenom yen ke ye ta lwel wan KTN ta lwel wan na era ko be de je le ping e pit a je ngi mane ke pit jurge wan yi ban ge wan jam ka bu ko an ba agreement loy ta ka be ping ke to delegation bula juba ya merkin wan jo lo ke to delegation mo ka ben juba ta ka be ping ke lo e pit lwel ngu mane ku ra chiran game because angi ke che jam yit pit so ran chi kene yena che ben yena nyai kurun bi nyai ki jo ben 2024 tima wan jane lwel Iran ku ye mon je taginom yongu baloy bin kir ma yadin nyai na ye journalist ina get taginom be kir jala di nyai yadi ye benye bit ye wi ran win benin nang to de ni chwede rek taginom be kir jaladi ye bishop kir jaladi e ko rana ben be ko de luiten be diang nyai ago baya go nom law ago values norm society ago ga be do te den ngai wo jam we wo ko be bai be lo revive ngai wo ya forming a revive South Sudan party because wo ko values ka junubin bega revive bega dode den because leader ke ben nyal a ci bay riok a ci simply ko ya to ko ya ne cho ke e because no ma ci liw ting bay ben ro loy ben ge dulum ben duna dulum ma tograp yi ngay bay nga ci jolo ya ko rap bran ben ke ciem nga yera la ta ayu ko ci nge ben nge nya liel wel ma nyel ñi nge nya liel yi nga je nga ci ro jolo juru Sudan ting ben nga piora ran ke a liel chan ba liel de ba myo je ye bay yung ngene bay pol bolo level chiri ken ko pan chen ko dieten simply ran to nge cho Kiir ma tak bolo yadi na chin norms tibi enten ka le yena chen te may junu ba Sudan ten norms are to everywhere ko chi ran ben bolo be chede asa juru ben kir ge to ku mai ben chi cheren ko jam lwet ko ga nyin jo pal chi ran le yi ye bay le bolo twen ki ne yi neng pan le bere no ngi nom lao ke pan me ariyo ci tiang du na rioj de bi le pan le be nang nom lao ci le pan be nang nom lao so we bai kena chu man ku wo jam Kiir nye kwa nye ai dul le wen bi ye nye 2024 ngeru nye my brothers and sisters, I think we have come to the conclusion of our program. As I said, those of you who are watching, share the program, let others people watch. You comment, you say whatever you want to say. You agree with us, you say it. If you disagree with us, you say it. You have every right to agree with us, to disagree with us. Yeah? We don't have monopoly of wisdom or of knowledge, but we are sharing what we know. And we want to have a real conversation, not a fake conversation, real conversation about where this country is going and what we can do as people of South Sudan to make sure that this country move forward. We have a guy in a position of power who has no any quality of leadership. He's not even he doesn't have any quality of decency, of a decent human being. A guy who's embarrassing people, guy who's a coward, who's selling the land, a guy who's a corrupt, virtually a thief. He's the one that is running the country, that is the custodian of the resources and the people. This is a tragedy. And we as a people, is a reflection on us. It's a punishment on us. And we have to make sure that we remove this shame so that the history of our people is replenished and we restore the glory and the dignity of our people. My people, have a good day, share the video, and I see you next time.